I want to show you an easy way to get a super cool chippy, fun finish on your painted pieces. So on this buffet, I went ahead and have already laid down one coat of my base color. So then I am going over with the second coat, same color. It's just going to lay over the top and actually give me a great surf to apply my texture medium. The texture medium that I am going to use is called Salt Wash. It is a fabulous product. I do retail it, and I will put the link at the end of the video so you can buy some. It is so fun to use. You can have it make your pieces look old and worn or give you just a little bit of texture. In this instant, I want some big holes, some big chippy holes. So I've put my second coat of paint on, and I'm using a chalk paint. I then sprayed it with some water. It's just regular water. The salt wash I'm going to take, and I'm just going to take my little scoopy thing and just drop it on the top of the wet paint. The paint needs to be wet so it acts as like a glue to make the salt wash attach. I'm going to do this, and then I am going to spray water over the top of it so it really gets moist and it adheres. This is going to create what I call a resist layer. So we're going to let that dry. It needs to dry for a few hours so that way the salt wash is very, very adhered, right? I'm going to spray it with the fine mist sprayer and actually be very generous with how I spray it. I'm going to let it dry, like I say, 2, 3, 4 hours until it is good and hard. It will dry good and hard. Then I'm going to go over the top of it with a contrasting color. So in this case, I am using a combination of like an olive green, and I actually use Dixie Belle's collard greens, and a lighter tan greasy color. And in this instance, I used French linen, which is also a Dixie Belle color. My base blue was antebellum blue mixed with Bunker Hill blue to create a really cool, dreamy blue. I had done the salt wash on the inside of this cabinet. This is an open shelf buffet. So basically, I am just swirling the paint around over that salt wash layer. I'm not going to brush it back and forth. If I were to do that, I would dislodge a lot of that salt wash that I had thrown down there. I am just going to kind of take the two colors I've got in my container and just kind of blend them. Really not taking a ton of time, to be honest with you. Just kind of swirling them around, trying to get them to go over. I'm going to cover the entire blue surface, okay? The entire blue surface with this new color. I'm going to let that dry, and so it's really good and hard before I do the next step. So just make sure you're picking colors that are contrasting colors and that are really pretty and are going to look good. So the blue is going to go with the dark green and the lighter color that I've thrown in there. I'm just going to keep doing this all the way across until we get our coverage all the way. Your brush will pick up some of the salt wash, but that's okay. It's just going to add extra texture onto the piece. So just kind of swirl your brush around as opposed to swiping it back and forth. It'll help to just kind of secure it instead of move the salt wash. Does that make sense? I hope so. You know, in some of the places where I didn't have salt wash, you'll notice that I'm brushing back and forth. But where I do have the salt wash, I kind of just give it a little swirly motion. That way it really embeds down into that salt wash because it's going to be really cool. We're going to end up chipping this finish off, right? Crazy. Put it on, then take it off. Okay, we're going to let this dry and move on to the next step. Because the next steps is where it starts to get really fun. We're going to now take, and see, we painted the green on it. We're going to take a putty knife and we're going to take that blade and just run it over the top. Remember, the salt washes over the base layer of paint. and then we swirled it over with the dark green and the lighter greasy gray color. And now we are going to take the putty knife, because remember that salt wash was kind of bubbled and built up on there. We're going to scrape it off. That's the white stuff. Now I will tell you that it won't stay white. It's just the residual. Now here's what you could do. You can take a spray bottle and like spray off the salt wash so that way you can really see what it looks like. But to be honest, once you apply a wax over it, the salt wash just kind of dissolves and it goes away. Isn't that cool how we dropped it on top of that drawer? We're chipping it off, and what it does is it makes it look natural. This is how you get a natural, chippy, super cool finish. I bet you wondered how to do that. So just use that blade. Just be careful. Don't like scrape down to the wood. But if you do, that's okay too, because I will end up sanding and distressing this in the long run. So don't stress out. The thing is, when I paint, I just do it. I don't think about it. I just do it and let it happen. If I scrape it and I get down to the wood, paint over it. And if you don't, then just leave it, right? So I grabbed some wax, and in this instance, my favorite go-to wax is Wise Owl's clear wax. See what I mean? The salt wash is gone. I like Wise Owl wax, even though I use Dixie Belle paint. I like Wise Owl's wax because it's oil-based. It's super creamy, and it just goes on so lightly. It's such a phenomenal wax. Do you see the difference? Look at the right where the white is. Look at the left. Oh, I just covered it. The blue. Remember the blue we started with? Doesn't it look natural now? Doesn't it look like years and years of chippiness? Years and years. And if the white still stays on a little bit, just scrape it again. If it bothers you, then keep scraping it till you get it off. But it doesn't bother me because it just adds to the natural look of this piece. Now all of a sudden it looks like we've got this cool, old, chippy finish. The underneath is coming through. The colors are coming through. There's no other way to do this to get it look so natural. Using my nail there. I see that I missed some of it. I'm just using my finger on this one. Use whatever tools you have at your disposal. But isn't it phenomenal? Oh my gosh, such a fun finish. So you're going to take, when you put wax on, the secret of wax is you don't have to use a ton. You put it on and then you buff it off, okay? That's the beauty about waxing a chalk painted piece. And I wax every single piece of painted furniture that I do. I love the look of wax, more so than like a clear top coat. It's my go-to over paint. So I find a little more salt wash that I didn't chip off, and I keep chipping it off. So you just wipe it back, and what this does is it really ensures that the wax is just there. And if you don't wipe it back, it's going to be sticky and never cure. So just always buff back your wax. If you have a big buffing brush, use that. Super fun. So the next part I'm going to do is add the dimension, right? I grab myself some brown wax. So, furniture chalk paint wax comes in colors. It comes in clear. So we always clear wax first. Always. If we didn't, then see how dark this brown is? That's how dark it would be on our piece. We wouldn't be able to wipe it back like I'm going to do right now. The clear wax acts as a barrier in between the paint and what you're doing. So always remember, hear my voice in your head when you are painting a piece of furniture. If you want to put a colored wax over the top, look at all that super cool texture. Then you have to clear wax first. Don't make the mistake of just putting this wax down. It will not come off. It'll look like just like that. And if you put the clear wax down first, it allows you to wipe it off, and this creamy, beautiful finish. It allows you to just kind of smoosh it and make it look feathery instead of like this big brown blob of a line, right? So just always clear wax, you guys. Clear wax before you color wax. Just remember, Debbie is telling you, clear wax first. And then wipe it back. I use a microfiber rag. I get these at Costco, 50 of them for whatever. I wash them every week. I've used the same rags for 2 to 3 years. before they get too gunky and I throw them away. So microfiber rags are great for taking off wax. I absolutely love them. Love, love, love. All these supplies are available on my website, which is tonatransformations.com. I will go ahead and note all of the stuff that I used in the description so that you can go order your own paint and supplies. I retail all these products in my brick and mortar store, which is located in Nampa, Idaho. So it's TONA Transformations, same as my channel. Please be sure to subscribe. Write me a comment if you have questions. I answer them daily. Don't be afraid to, don't be a stranger. I have a Facebook page, an Instagram, and a Pinterest. So please do subscribe so I can keep doing some amazing videos. Look at how beautiful that dark wax makes this whole piece. Look at the depth. You didn't have the depth. I haven't done it on the bottom yet. But can you see how cool that is? Like, look at the depth that it has given it. Wait till I put the knobs back on. This was such a fun piece to do. Ugh, looks like Craters of the Moon, doesn't it? Okay, you guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I will link all the products in the comments. And what I always say is go out and be fabulous, and thanks for watching. Bye.